Friends, in this video I'm going to talk about Spring Cloud API Gateway Rate Limiter. Okay, so in the last video I have discussed about how this Spring Cloud API Gateway will work here. Okay, so an API Gateway is a server that acts as a entry point for like all the client requests to your microservices here. Okay, basically it will sit in between the clients and the services, and that route the request and managing the traffic and handling the security and providing like additional features like load balancing, caching, rate limiting and logging. Okay, so this is how this API gateway will work. So now I'm going to talk about how this Spring Cloud API gateway will work as a rate limiter here. Okay, so let me open one of the diagram. So first of all, like, what is a rate limiting here? Okay, so I think most of the people heard about the rate limiting, right? So rate limiting helps to protect the services from being overwhelmed by too many requests from a single user or a client. Okay, so now we have like a couple of algorithms. We have like token bucket algorithm, and apart from this we have a leaky bucket algorithm. Okay, so but one of the most used famous algorithm is token bucket algorithm. Okay, so this is the token bucket algorithm. So the token bucket algorithm is one of the most popular and widely used rate limiting approaches due to its simplicity and effectiveness. Okay, so I will explain like how this token bucket algorithm will work. So let's imagine that okay, so this bucket holds like some of the tokens here. Okay, so the bucket has maximum capacity of tokens. So tokens are added to the bucket at the fixed rate. Let's say that we have a 10 buckets 10 tokens, okay, per second. So when a request is arrived, okay, so it must obtain a token from the bucket to proceed, right? So if there are enough tokens in this bucket, the request is allowed to, and tokens are removed here. So let's say that if the request has been received, if there are enough tokens in this bucket, okay, so the request is allowed and tokens are removed here. So process the request if the tokens are available in the bucket and remove the consumed tokens from the bucket here. Okay, so if there are no enough tokens in the bucket, okay, the request is dropped here. Okay, so this is how this rate limiter token bucket rate limiter algorithm will work. Okay, so now okay, so this is my Spring Cloud API gateway. Okay, so whenever you will hit like API gateway endpoint, so that has to be comes through the Spring Cloud API gateway to reach our product service here. Okay, so here apart from this Spring Cloud gateway, I'm going to use the Redis here. So this Redis will store this metrics inside this Redis cluster. Okay, so this rate limiter metrics will be stored inside this Redis. So this is the Spring Cloud API gateway rate limiter. Okay, so let me open my code. So in the last video I have discussed about how this Spring Cloud API gateway will work. So this is the Spring Cloud gateway routes configurations. We need to define like ID, and this is my service name, product service, and this is URI, load balancer URI, and apart from this we need to provide like predicates. So predicates, inside this predicates you need to define the path of this service here. Okay, so this is my path, products. Okay, and I just registered this service with Eureka server. Okay, that is the reason I have defined this Eureka server URL here. Okay, so this is straightforward, nothing is complex, and so I ran this in my local. So this is my Eureka is already started. So this Eureka registered with these three services. One is product service and Spring Cloud API gateway, and another one is Zipkin. Okay, so you can ignore the Zipkin for the time being. So this is Spring Cloud API gateway, right? So let's open this, and whenever this is my Spring Cloud gateway, okay, URL, now you need to define the products here. Okay, so when you hit this API gateway, so it will route the request from API gateway to product service. So here we can see like couple of products here. So this is working fine. Now so I need to work with this Spring Cloud gateway rate limiter, right? So to work with this, basically what we need to do is we need to add like couple of dependencies. Okay, so let me open the pom.xml file. So here I need to add, okay, so this is Spring Boot starter data Redis reactive dependency. We need to add this. Okay, once you added this, we need to add like some other like configurations. Okay, so what I will do is I will go to this official page of this request rate limiter. Okay, this is the request rate limiter. Okay, so filter, so here they have defined like all the possibilities configurations. Okay, so yeah, so like this you can define the filters, and name of the filter is request rate limiter and arguments is key resolver here. Okay, so here what is the key resolver here? So I just want to summarize why we require the key resolver here. Okay, key resolver is a mechanism that extract this unique identifier, so that is key, from incoming request. Okay, so without key resolver, so the rate limiter would not know so how to uniquely identify the clients and enforce the limits properly. So basically so the rate limiting mechanism needs to differentiate between clients to enforce the limits appropriately. Okay, so for example, so you might want to rate limit based on like client IP address, user ID, API key, custom criteria. Okay, so client IP address basically limit the number of requests from each IP address. Okay, so that is one thing. Another thing is like user ID, so limit the number of requests per authenticated user, and apart from that API key, so limit the number of requests for API key as well. So the key resolver is mechanism that extract the unique identifier from the incoming request. Okay, so we require this key resolver, so you can define the key resolver here. Okay, and apart from this we need to define like these three arguments here. Okay, so here we have like a replenish rate and burst capacity. Okay, and apart from this we have like requested tokens here. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, so the token is nothing but, so these tokens are available in this bucket. Okay, so here replenish rate, so what is the replenish rate here? So replenish rate means this defines how tokens are added to the buckets per second. So let's say that if you want to add like 10 tokens for second, so if you need to like add like 10 tokens are added to the bucket per second here. Okay, and apart from this we have a burst capacity. So what is the burst capacity? This is defines the maximum number of tokens or like requests the bucket can hold at any given time. Okay, so this is allows for like handling like short burst of traffic. So for example, so if burst capacity is 20 here, okay, let's say that if burst capacity is 20, then the client can make the 20 requests in a quick succession here. Okay, so like all within the first second. So if enough let's say that if enough tokens are available, okay, so once the bucket is empty, so the new tokens are only added to that replenish rate here, or like 10 tokens per second in this case here. Okay, and apart from this requested token, so by default it is 1, so you can add like n number of tokens here. Okay, so this parameter is used to define how many tokens a specific request will be consumed here. Okay, so so for example, if Redis rate request tokens is set to like 1, so each request made by the client will be consumed 1 token from the bucket here. So this would this would like effectively mean that the only one such request can be made if the burst capacity is 1 here. Okay, so so this is how we have to be defined. So what you can do is you can just copy this configuration and go back to your application.yaml file. So here you can just define like this: filters, name is request rate limiter, and arguments it's giving error, so it doesn't makes sense. So it is saying that not expected here, so we can ignore it. Okay, we will see if it is not working, then we will check it out. And apart from this, what we have to do is we have to add the key resolver here, right? So to work with key resolver, so we need to add one bean here. Okay, so this is key resolver bean. Main application. So here you can just add this key resolver. Okay, so I just added this key resolver here. So we get like exchange dot get request, get remote address, okay, get host address. So I'm just using the host address. So this is a unique identifier, right, for our request. So you can add like any like IP address or like user ID, API key. Okay, so this is key resolver to identify like our request here. Okay, now apart from this configuration, uh, yeah, so we need to add like so Redis as well, right? So what I can do is basically in Spring Boot 3.1 actually we have a Docker Compose support. So I will add the Docker Compose dependency here, and I will go for like this Redis. I will download the Redis from the Docker here. Okay, so let's add like some dependency, not here. Okay, Spring Boot Docker Compose. Okay, so this is the dependency we require here. Just refresh this, and after that what you need to do is you have to be add one of the Docker Compose file here. Okay, let's add so Docker compose.ml file. Okay, so inside this you need to add like Redis related information. Okay, and just paste here. Okay, so I will explain what is this. So here actually we have like two services. One is like Redis service. This is our image and this is the container name. So you can just restart always. You can define the volumes, okay, to avoid like suspension of the data. Okay, and apart from this Redis is running on like 6379. You can map to the 6379. And apart from this we have a Redis Insight. Okay, so this is Redis Insight. To check it out, it's kind of like Redis CLI. You can connect and we can see all the metrics related to the Redis here. Okay, and this is Redis Insight image version here and container name. Okay, this will run on like port 8001. Okay, I defined the volume here. Okay, so that's it. It's straightforward. So what you can do is you can just restart this and test it out how it's working. Okay, it started. In the meantime, what I will do is I will go to the container section here. I will see whether the Redis Insight and Redis is started or not. Okay, both are started. So what I can do is for the time being I will test whether this Spring Cloud API gateway is working or not first. Okay, so let's hit this API. Okay, it's working fine. It's giving the response. Now to test this rate limiter, actually we need some of the configuration, right? So what I will do is I will open this JMeter. Okay, so this is our JMeter here. So you can define the number of threads here. Okay, so what I will do is go to the application.yaml file. I will take 2, 4. Just restart this. So the burst capacity is 4. So per second it has to be allowed only 4 requests. Okay, let me start this and go back here and check here. Okay, so 4 requests are success and 5th request is failed, that is 429, too many requests, right? So so this is how you can test it by using this JMeter. Okay, so in the first request you can see this rate limiting remaining is 1 here. Okay, here we have a 3, 0 and 2. Okay, so as we mentioned earlier in the bucket algorithm, right? So if one is hit, so that one has been removed from that bucket, right? So initially, like let's say that we have a, it will start from 0 to 3. So 3 is removed, okay, and 2 is removed, and 1 is removed, and 0 is removed. Now, so now we will get it this too many requests, okay, that is 429 status here. Okay, so this is how you can hit and you can see the response data as well. So for the success, we can see the response data. For the failure, you can see the response headers as well. Okay, and so this is how it will work. Apart from this, we started the Redis, right? Redis insights also is there. So what you can do is, one second. So this is my port number. Okay, so what you have to do is, I already added this database here. So instead of that, if you add like new Redis database, just click on this. It will ask you to the host, port number, and name here. So my host is actually Redis because we have defined as yeah. So this is my container name, right? So this is my host. So you need to define the Redis. Okay, after that port number, okay, 6379 and name. So you can provide like any Redis local setup, something like that. So when you add Redis database, basically it will, okay, add it to your, okay, Redis insight here. So here you can see like all the summaries, like how much memory, what are the total keys are there, how many clients are connected, all the information you can see here. Okay, apart from this, we have a CLI as well. So in the CLI, so you can just hit the, okay, some keys as well. So you can see the keys, okay, and status, so yeah, so info state, so like this, all the statistics you can see here. Okay, so so total connections are received, total commands processed, okay, all those information you can see by using the CLI as well. Okay, now what I will do is, so let's, in the meantime I will make it ready. Okay, we need a JMeter. Where is the JMeter? I don't see. Yeah, so this is our JMeter. Go back to our thread group. Okay, so when the time hit it, right, so I will see the this rate limiter metrics and the keys here. Okay, I just want to show you. So let's hit this, and when you hit this, see this, we can see two keys. One is request rate limiter, another one is request rate limiter tokens and timestamp. So this is how, so this metrics will store inside this Redis. Okay, so if you like this, please go ahead and like this video. So if you haven't subscribed my channel, please go ahead and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.